Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spiral Wisdom page for my first ever Facebook Live post. And I'm beginning just a couple minutes early to make sure that I'm on when you all come join me. So I won't actually start yet, but I did want to say hello and let you know that I am here. And so we'll give folks a few minutes to arrive. My office away from office, which has been quite a challenge to recreate and become comfortable with. But here I am. So I see somebody's on. Good. We've got one viewer now. And it's technically official time to begin. So I thought I'd say hello again. So I'm Judy Lipson, my first Facebook Live, to talk about sheltering in place in these very unprecedented times, and to figure out what kinds of things will be going on in our experiences now. So I'll wait for a few more people to arrive, and thanks for letting me know who's already on. That's really helpful. Thanks, Lisa. I know we've got a couple other people who are expected to attend, and I'm hoping a gazillion of you will arrive. I could be so silly. But I feel like we should just get started. I'll kind of recap if I need to. So thanks for joining me. These are, like I said, very unprecedented times. We've never had to deal with something like this in our lifetimes. And I know I've always wondered, what would it be like? What was it like back then when people had to deal with these serious events that occurred in their lifetimes, and how did they deal with it and how did they handle it? And here we are, folks. We're working on it and we're figuring it out on our own. So I wanted to just kind of share a couple ideas that I've been having, and they've come from reading the wonderfully amazing prose and shares and comments that I've been seeing that other people have been writing as a result of these times. And so I'm hoping that people will note the opportunities that we have during this. And one of the opportunities is that we have so much time on our hands. Now, that's not the case for everybody. That's the case for folks who are potentially working from home. The essential workers who are still out on the jobs are having a different kind of challenge, obviously. But for those of us who have a little bit of time on our hands, even just that part of timing that didn't include moving, going to work and coming back, the commute time, we now have that available to us. And so I encourage you to be creative and to use that time so that we can find the opportunities here. So one of the opportunities is to really go inward and determine what is it that we are seeking. It's what we as humans do anyway, is trying to figure out, who am I? What's my role here? What are my goals here? What is important to me? And when an event like this occurs, it becomes an even larger task, a more available task for us to go inward and take a look at, what have I really believed in and what have I found was the most important thing. And so one of those things, for instance, is what I keep seeing evidence of, which is the compassion and the care for so many other people, which I think is just beautiful to witness. So while you're looking for that time and taking that time, and I hope if you do have questions that you will throw them into the comment section down below, and I will do my best to address those today. And if not today, I'm hoping to do this again in the future, and possibly even as a Zoom call, so it is more interactive. But I wanted to share a couple of the things that I've been recommending to all of my clients that I've been talking to over the past 5 weeks. I guess it's about 5 weeks now. And that is the importance of setting up a routine. So these routines should not be super rigid. They shouldn't be rigid at all. It doesn't have to be from 9 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. This is what you do. Although if that is what appeals to your to your style of living, go for it. That's fine. But the goal that, as I talk about this, the goal is not 9 to 9:45 and then 10 to 10:20. No, but think of the different kinds of routines to include in your life right now. So the first one is, if you're a student, school is your top priority. And if you are employed, then then yours is your work, whatever it is, and that creates a very natural structure to your day. Going to work, going to school, that's your primary. But even if you're not a student or currently employed, either by choice or by unfortunate necessity, these next pieces are so important for you to add on to your daily tasks. So one of those is social. And obviously we are having to do social so much differently than we ever had to before, but it is so important that we remain connected. In fact, I was just reading an article this morning on loneliness in an earlier in an earlier AARP journal from a couple months ago. There was a great article about loneliness and how it's real, and the pain that people who are lonely feel, and the importance of connection that we have with each other. And this is such an interesting time because I'm very social, but I am an introvert also. But I'm very social, and I find the importance of staying connected with people, and yet I can't connect in the same way that I did before. So I encourage you to, if you what I've been telling the kids and the adults who I work with who are primarily introverts and maybe had a lot of social anxiety, reach out 2 to 3 times a week. Find people that you can connect with on Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, and so forth, or even just by phone, and make that connection with them. For those of us who are more normally more involved with people, reach out more frequently, daily if you can. Multiple times a day if you want to, as long as you get done the things that need to be taken care of. And so keep that social piece in as well. Please don't forget to play and have fun. And play and have fun might even be part of your social connections. My husband has been having a blast playing games across FaceTime with our grandchildren. And sometimes we have to be creative about it. Battleship is awesome because we can have the blue or the red board, and the kids have the other board on the other side of the screen, and it works just great. Other games like, what do we play? Guess Who, or Candyland. The kids controlled the board, and when it was our turn, they threw the dice and moved our little guy that many spaces, and then turned the colors and moved things and all that kind of stuff. So you can be really creative. I know that kids have been doing video games with each other, which is awesome, but let's try and cool it on how much technology time and screen time that they're involved in. That's always a good idea. But in the interest of play and fun, screen time is okay still. Screen time is okay. And sometimes it's a necessity for the adults in the room. And in fact, sometimes the adults need that screen time too. Puzzles can be played on either side of a social event through FaceTime and so forth, through video chat. But do puzzles on your own, do games on your own, do art and music. And then a next piece that I really recommend that you employ is to be creative. This is a fabulous time for many of us to finally launch into the things that we thought we never had time for, we didn't have time for. And the real perk now is there are even a lot of individuals who are offering things online so that you can take lessons in all kinds of things that you hadn't been able to do before. YouTube everything. You can YouTube everything and you can find out how to do things. So learn a new instrument or pick up an instrument from when you were younger and use that as well. And again, I recommend these for the kids too. This is a time to use this time to do things that you hadn't done before. So music, art, you probably already know there are lots of opportunities for being cultured, if that's a word, Even when we can't go to the theater, Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Shows Must Go On YouTube every weekend. There's also, I just heard from a friend who normally goes to Stratford every year. Stratford is now offering their Shakespeare plays online for free. Broadway is showing, I think, 15 different ones that are available. So there are so many opportunities that we have right now. Please don't forget movement. It is so easy. And hey, this is my experience. I move from client to client. I stay in this office. I used to joke when I was in my real office about how I was afraid to wear a Fitbit because I would be so horrified by the fact that I don't get steps in because my waiting room was 12 steps away from my office and my desk chair. That was good, folks. Right now, it's like person to person sitting in front of this iPad, and there are no steps unless I build it into the routine and remember that I need to move. The perk is it's so much easier to take Zumba, yoga, and different kinds of exercises online now for either a small fee or for free. And so there are many opportunities to bring in movement into your world. Sometimes, taking that extra time to go to the kitchen, say hi to your family members, get a snack or a beverage and come back up again. These are all the ways that we can get movement. You'll have to make the decision based on where you live and your own ease in your own experience of understanding your medical situation and where you live in terms of safety. But I do encourage you, be in nature and outside as much as you can. And now with spring coming and it's gorgeous outside, I'm in Michigan. It's a sunny day with some pretty white clouds. And it's still cool here, but we now have the opportunity to get outside, to work in the garden, to walk around the neighborhood, to walk in nearby parks. Obviously, playgrounds, I understand, are shut down, but you can still get outside and move. Just keep a safe distance from other people if that's comfortable for you and your needs. But nature and other things that you do, and I encourage you to really go deep in and figure out what are those things again. There is nothing like, for me, a sunset. I am such a sucker for sunsets. The beauty of a sunset, the beauty of being in nature with the green and the blue of the sky, the greens of the trees and the grass and so forth, and the blue of the skies, they open my heart and they make my heart sing. They make my soul and my spirit come alive. And we need this right now. We need this right now to come back into our own heart space so that we can open our own heart to others. And as we open our heart to others, then we build that compassion and empathy and caring and love that many of us, unfortunately, have lost. Maybe not you folks who are watching today, but as a community, as a society, it feels like we've lost way too much of that. So one person at a time. And as you connect, it's funny, they talk about, this part's not funny, but they talk about the coronavirus and how the reason we shelter in place and shelter at home is so that we stop that, one person affects, 5, 10, 20, who then affect 5, 10, 20. But on the happy side, we can do the same thing with our love and our compassion, because it's time that we remember we are all one. And we see that so much in the news that we watch. I mean, this was a virus that began in China. And once upon a time, many of us would think, oh, that's over there. I don't need to be concerned about that because that's over there. That's those people. That's that group. That's that group of people. And we forgot that we are all one. And we're starting to see now more than ever that what happens in our community and in the business nearby and how they handle the land and the climate is affecting others. But that's not really for me to go into. So back to routines. Movement, school and work, play and be creative, Find those new things that you've never had an opportunity to be a part of or you got lost from because you haven't had the time. Get those back into your life. Don't forget social. And then lastly, make sure that your sleep is balanced. This is real tough for those adolescents who are used to wanting to stay up late and then wake up late. And if that's okay with you, and I do know some families that is okay with, and I think maybe in reason, but the body does certainly have a certain circadian rhythm that it follows. And so I would encourage you to try and keep a very balanced sleep routine, sleep awake cycle routine. Have a time that you get up in the morning. Start by getting up and, showering, brushing your teeth, having breakfast, and then start your school or your work routine. Take breaks. I'm a big proponent of during school chunking time, even for the kids who were in school and were doing homework. I've always promoted, you can find this on my webpage, spiralwisdom.com, that in articles, the top right, there's a link on articles, and there's a drop down, go to education and find the article called Homework Helper. And there's a whole description about you work for, say, 20 minutes because we don't want to go against what our natural self feels, is able to accomplish. You work for 20 minutes, you take a 3-minute break. You don't get a 15-minute break. If you can work for an hour, maybe you can get a 15-minute break. But you work for 20 minutes, you take a really quick break, no TV, no social and screen time, no chatting, because we get sucked in and we get lost. So I would encourage you then to do your chunking, get your schoolwork done, take some breaks in between, and then make sure that you have that time to connect with people socially, play, etc. Any questions that have come through today, I will be addressing in the future. I do hope to see you guys again, probably weekly. I've got lots to talk about. That's just who I am. My newsletter will be coming out the first of the month, but there might be one that comes out before. I'm not sure yet. So thank you very much. You guys stay safe. Take care. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate that you've been here. And I hope, hit the record and publish button so that if you were late getting on or missed this, that you'll be able to see it at a later date or share it. Thanks so much for coming. You guys take care. Bye-bye.